Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the governors-elect, that is Fernandez Baraza in Kakamega and Abdulswamad Nasir in Mombasa. I think it's officially confirmed that they won those two gubernatorial by-elections. In this campaign, in these two by-elections, especially the ones for the governors, I was focusing on both the two. There was a dominant voice, a dominant message that elect your president, elect a side, choose either to go to opposition or go to government. This is because strategically, Deputy President William Ruto was holding Form 34D after being declared as the president-elect. And if you look at the voting patterns in Kakamega and Mombasa, of course, it is not just one to be celebrated wholesomely, but also need to appreciate the effort that UDA candidates had put, or rather how Kenya Kwanza has also fared on in those two by-elections, because the numbers are also showing in their favor. Now, if you give it a holistic approach, there were 6 by-elections: Kakamega, Governor; Mombasa, Governor; Kitui Rural MP; Kacheliba, Pokot South, and Rongai. Out of the 6, Azimio la Umoja scooped 5, the 2 gubernatorial by-elections, the Kitui Central, the Kacheliba, and Pokot South. Then Rongai went to UDA. These by-elections were coming at a time when William Ruto's president-elect status was being challenged in Supreme Court. Now, listening to the campaigns, remember I analyzed that William Ruto abstained from the campaign trail, and on Sunday just went to Bungoma. I think he was just going Bungoma strategically to campaign a bit for Malala, but indirectly sent a message saying that we are government. And I want to play for you two clips by Brigadier Gachagua and Musalia Mudavadi. When you see them coming out to brag and posture as we are government narrative. Despite of we are government narrative, still the voters seems to have rejected that statement. And of course, that is what I want us to look at here. And in full details, we'll look at why exactly the narrative that we are government did not sink in the ears of voters. Now listen to this here.
Turekebishe ili tarehe 29 mwezi huu, yani Jumatatu ijayo, tupigie Leo Malala awe governor wa jimbo letu la Kakamega County. Hapo tutakuwa tumefanya correction kwa hali tulikuwa tumeteleza. Haraka Jumatatu piga kura, chukua mheshimiwa Malala awe governor, anataka kuleta pesa kijana afanye kazi. That's what I want to do. Father and son have confined their region to opposition for 60 years. Wakati mlipiga kura, walikuwa maweka propaganda kwamba serikali itakuwa huko. Si namna hiyo? Na mlipiga kwa nia njema kwamba mnataka muingie kwa serikali. Ama ni namna gani? Lakini sasa serikali imeonekana waziwazi iko kwa mikono ya William Samoei Ruto.
Watu wetu mtatuangusha. Mtatuangusha. Naomba na heshima na nyenyekea, tafadhali watu wetu, munichagulie huyu kijana. Mtanichagulia huyu kijana? Mtamchagulia akuje bunge? Na huyu kijana, wewe Kosingu hapana Tanganya wa Pokot, ati ukitolewa tikiti itaenda. Hiyo kitu ulijipea? Si alipewa na William Ruto? William Ruto yule alipewa wewe kiti, ndio atapatia huyu mjumbe kiti. Na mimi nauliza nikiwa na hofu,
kwamba labda mtateleza tena. Mtateleza tena? Raundi hii mtateleza? Kwa sababu mimi nataka niwaulize, mimi kwa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ikiongozwa na Ruto, mimi Prime Minister designate. Mtoto wenu jirani hapa, mtoto wenu Moses Masika Wetangula atakuwa Speaker of the National Assembly. Mimi nawauliza, kwa Raila ambaye anaenda Bondo na Uhuru wanaenda Gatundu, nyinyi mna nini kule? Wakipendekeza speaker wanapendekeza nani? Kalonzo. Abaruja jamani, yaani tulikuwa tumefunikwa macho na huyu jamaa mpaka hatujielewi. Sasa tuamuke. Raila tutampeleka nyumbani, we shall respect him as an elder statesman. Alifanya yake, but it was destined that he shall never be the president of Kenya. Aende polepole, we give him respect, apumzike.
But why do you think the voter rejected "we are government" narrative? Why do you think that happened? Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our video. We are still following the proceedings of Supreme Court. I have an update from there. The UDA, William Ruto's plea for the for the affidavits of IBC commissioners to be struck out was not granted by the court, and now the commissioners' affidavits are going to be part of that case. There was also another request to stop to bar LSK that has also been denied, and so LSK is going to be part of the case. I think that so far is an update from there. Now, kindly, I want to remind us about the 50 shillings challenge for Sarah Tieno, the medical fundraiser, in the interest of her medical bill that was in the tune of 1 million. We had been fundraising here. Sarah Tieno is one subscriber here, but she's suffering acutely leukemia in Kenyatta Hospital. So we've been doing a fundraiser just to support and inject a bit of support so that she can be discharged from the hospital because she was detained over the 1 million bill. Mine has been covered by us 679 in the first batch of fundraise. Then we also paid, there was also another one that was paid by insurance. The balance remains at 215,000. As by the time I was shooting this video, I just need to confirm here. As by the time I was shooting this video, I was at 141,000. Yes, 141,000. Okay, that shows us that we are not far from the target. I think that's close to how many? 215 minus 141. Hiyo ni ngapi yao? 59 plus 15. It's around 75,000. Yes. So we are 75,000 short of the target, and we still urge us to at least help and also contribute. Those who had pledged, kindly you can also redeem your pledge, and God will bless you. The number is there: 0710 62 78 89. Kevin Olo. The campaigns, when Musalia Mudavadi and Rigathi Gachagua and likes went to brag in front of the voter, I want to say first it was an insult because the acceptability of those results was being questioned. And I want to repeat here that people are very bitter. There are people who are, there are those who are loyal Raila supporters who are very bitter. And maybe they had not even accepted because even Raila himself had not considered. So it was one that was it was a very precarious condition. But then something that worked against that narrative was the confrontation attacks on Raila. You see, this is a situation where, like, if you listen to Musalia Mudavadi campaigning in Kakamega, he was talking. Of course, Malala is campaigning for Malala, but he's talking on how Raila should be taken to Bondo, on how he's going to be respected, and how he's going to accept results of that. Now, the same crowd you are addressing, there are people who voted for Raila. And these people who voted for Raila, they know that, of course, the stability results is being questioned, but then you go and stand in front of them and attack Raila. That's to me didn't work out well, because both in Mombasa and even Kakamega, those are areas that Raila Odinga enjoyed massive support. And as much as you're going to campaign, I think something that needed to do is just refrain from Raila attacks. Now look at, I want you to look at the voice of the campaign lines in Kakamega. I think I listened to Oduor saying that if you want the things that Oparanya has been doing in the county government to continue well, then you need to choose Fernandez Baraza. Now, that to me, I think was more receptive compared to attacking Raila, because it was easily telling the banking on the track record of Oparanya. In fact, Musalia Mudavadi, instead of attacking Raila there while campaigning for Malala, he would then try to maybe poke holes or cast aspersions on the track record of Kakamega governor, the immediate Kakamega outgoing governor, Oparanya. But instead, you will go there and attack Raila, while the same people you're talking to are the people who, some of them voted for Raila. It's a bit of an insult. But then, I spoke to a PO, my good friend, Marion was in Kakamega, Khalif was in, is it Shanzu? Yeah, I think Shanzu is in Mombasa. Yeah, and a few. Something that the people that took charge of the elections were actually telling us is majority of voters that were queuing in the line were elderly. The youth abstained from the polling station. And so when the youth abstained, I remember one person was telling me that, Kevin, the bribery is not to bribe a voter to go and vote for a candidate, but is also to bribe. He's bribed, like in Kakamega. there was a narrative that people want to be bribed to go to the polling station, leave alone whether they're going to vote for you or not, just for them to leave their places where they're seated, where they're working, or boda guy anataka umlipe kwanza ndio aende polling station, alafu atapigia kura mtu anataka, not necessarily voting for you. So you could understand how this was. But then when the elderly go to the polling station, the elderly were pro-Raila. That's it. The youth that were, UDA and Ruto was pro-youth, campaign was pro-youth. So when the youth team do not go to the polling station, then it's one of the things why that Nini does not work. And remember, we have government is targeting the youth, because the government of UDA were told to be the hustlers, which were the young people who are struggling with life somewhere. So this points out to when people go for a rerun, I am one person that is actually challenging this narrative. That mtu anasema watu wakienda rerun, William Ruto supporters will come up in more numbers than an Azimio, and I'm like, what's the reason for that? What's the rationale for that? What's the rationale for that? This is politics. But now, the benefits of the said government were not convincing. That's it. Mudavadi was telling the voters in Kakamega that he's the chief minister, a post that those people don't even know. Honestly, they don't even know. Someone should actually make that post directly be a prime minister. At least someone would know that Raila Odinga was once a prime minister, so this is normally a very influential position, because people still prefer to Raila as former prime minister. So Mudavadi should, this chief cabinet secretary thing, to me, people don't understand its portfolio and its significance. Now, you tell them that Moses Wetangula is going to be Speaker of the National Assembly. Dude, Marende was a Speaker of the National Assembly, and Marende was from Luyaland. So it's not such a special thing for them. And the Speaker of a Senate, or the Speaker of National Assembly, is not one that you can directly say have had an impact in the ground. Immediate Speaker of the Senate was Ken Lusaka and was from Bungoma. Now the immediate, so even if Wetangula is going to be a speaker, honestly, with all due respect, that position is going to benefit Moses Masika Wetangula. That position is not a community position. What you can even say is a community position is maybe a CS. Lakini sasa hiyo speaker surely ana kiti, ana hata pesa, ana CDF, hakuna kitu tafanya kwa ground. It's just bit of policy and influencing and having networks. So, and if you have networks and want to help your community networks, that networks will also help your network. So it will only help Moses Wetangula's friends, relatives, and that. So those positions that Mudavadi was hawking in Kakamega, those positions are not so much having an impact in the community level. Now, Uhuru's silence worked very well to deflate this Ruto's bragging rights. Uhuru has kept quiet, and I think many people have been asking why is Uhuru quiet. I think that silence has worked strategic because there is a bit of confusion. Watu wanangoja Uhuru hajaiongea hata hajaionekana. So when you go and take those bragging rights and with the silence of Uhuru, there are people who are still doubting. And the reality that you want to create that William Ruto is the president is not still sinking the ground. I think it will come out if the Supreme Court upholds that way. And in this country, people know. In 2017, Supreme Court nullified an election. So people have known that other level that it's not over until it's over. Guys, that's my bold statement on this. Why do you think we are government failed?